My heart is heavy with the burden of my past. My ministry has grown exponentially, a testament to my charisma and devotion. But as I stand on the pinnacle of success, I feel compelled to reveal the truth. At the beginning of my ministry, I was eager to please. The prophetic movement was sweeping the nation, and I was caught up in its fervor. Everyone seemed to be seeking the latest prophetic word, and I wanted to provide it. That's when I met a pastor who introduced me to a group of men who appeared to be praying together, seeking the Lord's guidance. The first time he took me to those prayers, I was led to a secluded spot in the wilderness. I expected to find a group of devout men and women seeking God's face, but instead, I found a lavish feast spread before us. They simply indulged in the sumptuous food and drinks. A man stood up, praying in a language I couldn't understand, but I assumed it was just a unique dialect. I was naive, blinded by my desire for success and recognition. After that feast, everything changed. I began having vivid dreams of my church overflowing with congregants. For almost a year, I attended those feasts, and my ministry skyrocketed. People flocked to hear me preach, and I basked in the admiration. But the more I indulged in those gatherings, the more my conscience dwindled. It wasn't until I stumbled upon a hidden ritual, shrouded in darkness and secrecy, that my eyes began to open. As my ministry continued to grow, I was instructed to host an Easter ceremony and invite the pastors. They were handpicked. I was told that they would bring a special blessing to my church. The day of the ceremony arrived, and my church was transformed into a feast hall. Food and drink flowed abundantly, and my congregation reveled in the splendor. I thought it was a genuine celebration of Christ's resurrection, but little did I know the sinister truth. After that ceremony, my church's growth accelerated exponentially. Influential people attended services, and I basked in the admiration. But a nagging voice persisted, whispering that something was amiss. The turning point came when I decided to visit one of the pastor's businesses, a butchery that supplied meat to our events. I arrived unannounced and stumbled upon a horrific scene: human bodies being dissected and prepared for consumption. My mind reeled as I watched the pastor and his personal guard cutting and packaging human flesh. The reality hit me like a ton of bricks. The feasts, the ceremonies, everything was a facade for a dark, sinister agenda. The meat served at our events was human. I felt sick, my stomach churning with revulsion. How could I have been so blind? The pastors I trusted, the congregation I shepherded, we were all unwitting participants in a monstrous ritual. From that day forward, I couldn't bring myself to attend another feast. The thought of consuming human flesh, even unknowingly, made my stomach churn. I began to distance myself from the group, and my ministry started to decline. People stopped coming to services, and the ones who remained looked at me with suspicion. They sensed the change in me, but I couldn't explain. As my ministry crumbled, I struggled to find peace. The memories of those feasts haunted me, and I began to experience vivid dreams of eating the meat, of savoring its taste. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, wondering if it was still happening in the spirit. I've lost weight, yet I still feel a strange, unexplainable hunger. Sometimes I wonder if my body is still craving the flesh, if the darkness has left an indelible mark. Desperate for answers to the questions I had, I conducted a mini research. What I discovered shocked me. All the pastors in the group had butcheries in different locations, scattered across the country. I realized I might have been groomed to open one too, but my untimely departure saved me from that fate. How many others have been ensnared in this web of deceit? How many innocent lives have been lost to satisfy their twisted appetites? I'm tormented by the thought that I may still be bound to that evil, that my attempts to break free are futile. I share my story now, not seeking sympathy or absolution, but as a warning. Beware the wolves in sheep's clothing, for they will stop at nothing to exploit the vulnerable. Seek the truth and hold fast to it, for it is the only foundation that will stand the test of time.